Hello and welcome to the 10th annual Daughters Day. For 8 years, Daughters Day was celebrated at Edmonton's beautiful City Hall, but thanks to the pandemic and keeping everyone healthy for the second year, we are here on social media. This is disappointing in some ways, but in other ways, it's a great opportunity to celebrate Alberta, women doing great things, because you can all be a part of this event wherever you are in the world. I hope you enjoy the next 40 minutes and that you will leave with a renewed energy and commitment to the work of creating communities marked by full gender equity. My name is Katie Stanners, and I want you to meet my co-host for this exciting event. Harriet Tinka is described as a woman who wears many hats. Her students know her as a role model who makes being genuine the most powerful thing of all. Harriet is an international best-selling co-author and turning point expert. She's a life coach, chartered professional accountant, football official, Toastmaster divisional champion, and an ultra-marathon runner. She's a past Daughters Day recipient and leads the social enterprise Empowered Me Inc., a company whose mission is to inspire and empower girls and women. She describes her life as moving from tragic to magic, and it's great to be co-hosting with you here today.
Oh, I'm excited to be honored to be here with you, to be hosting this great event. Now let me brag about my co-host as well, Katie. Well, Katie Stanners is a mom, broadcaster, musician, and community supporter. Katie's radio career has taken her all around Alberta, and now she's back to her hometown of Edmonton. She is a morning show producer and radio host at 104.9 Virgin Radio. If you haven't heard her on radio, you have to. She's got quite a voice. She is a firm believer in supporting local and loves to see women supporting women, just like today's event. Katie runs a project in Edmonton called A Woman a Day Yet, where she showcases local, inspirational women doing great things. In her downtime, whenever she gets that, when she's not waking up at 3 a.m., Katie enjoys spending time with family and going on fun adventures with her 6-year-old daughter. One day she'll be Daughter's Day. She'll be here. I was a Daughter of the Year in 2017. So I am one of the 63 women who are honored and who have received this honor previously. Today, you will be meeting 6 new Daughters of the Year. This event takes place on land that is ancient home of First Peoples, now home to people from every part of the world. I want to introduce Michelle Never-Yadami, hope I didn't butcher her name, to share a comment about that. Michelle is an inspirational leader and mentor and was a Daughter of the Year in 2019. Michelle has called Edmonton home for 19 years, and she's a member of Kawakatasi Cree First Nation. Her activities follow her passion of helping women and the community find balance with their physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental health. She is the owner of Ixcrew Health and Wellness, Assistant Director at Edmonton Native Healing Society, and part of the ministry team of Inner City Pastoral Ministry. Her work seeks to bridge cultural gaps and establish an understanding of the Indigenous world view, honoring the 4 directions of the medicine wheel, particularly in an interfaith context. One of our recent initiative, Healing Her Home Fire, grows out of her concern about homelessness and seeks to develop housing for women with children. She received the Clara Woodbridge Community Involvement Esquire Award in 2013.
2021 Daughters of the Year recipients: breathe, live, move, succeed, play, dream, work, and offer valuable contribution to Treaty 6 territory. We acknowledge this beautiful history. We acknowledge the people, the original inhabitants of this land, the nations such as the Cree, the Dene, the Soto, the Nakota Sioux, the Blackfoot. We acknowledge the Métis and the Inuit. Those who have walked before us, those whose shoulders that we stand on, who've called this place home since time immemorial. And we invite you, wherever you are joining from, to take a moment to offer that acknowledgement for the land in which you call home. In August 1876, Treaty 6 was signed. With communication and language barriers, hope, though, was that we would walk and share this land together in a good way because there was room for us all. However, as Indigenous peoples, we faced assimilation, discrimination, racism, genocide, and colonization, resulting in injustice, deep injustice, and profound loss. Loss of land, home, loss of language and ceremony, loss of traditional roles, loss of family and kinship, loss of our human rights, and loss of our children. We acknowledge the history of this land, both the good and the bad. We acknowledge that this is one step towards reconciliation, acknowledging the land and the history and learning the history as well. There's so much more work to be done, and we are grateful for the elders and the knowledge keepers who keep this story alive. We are grateful for all of you who keep this fire of reconciliation alive in your hearts and in your communities. Hi, hi.
Thank you for an important message, Michelle. I hope we take your words to heart and put them into action in our lives. Dr. Vivian Abboud is the chair of the Daughters Day Planning Group, and I invite her now to share a few words with you.
Welcome to the 10th anniversary Daughters Day. Thank you for joining to celebrate Daughters Day, honoring women who make a difference in our lives. We are grateful for our founders, sponsors, and each person who has contributed to make this joyful event possible. Daughters Day is a community initiative that highlights the importance of our daughters and highlights the importance of women in every aspect of life in Alberta. This year's theme focuses on the invitation to use the past as a foundation to build a better future. When I look back at the achievements of the nearly 70 women who have been celebrated as Daughters of the Year over the past decade, I feel very hopeful for the future. They are an inspirational community of women, showing us how much determined and energetic women can achieve. It takes a whole community to empower women. Actions must be taken to advocate for human rights and gender equity, to call for an end to violence and discrimination against women. I hope many more of you watching today's event will join in the community working for those results. Please stay in contact with us. There's a lot of work still to be done, and get involved with our initiatives. Now it's time to celebrate our 6th Daughters of the Year and learn from the message of our speaker. Enjoy.
Thank you, Vivian, for your words and your leadership of the Daughters Day Project. The Heart of Daughters Day is the opportunity to celebrate and honor a few of the many women doing valuable things to make Alberta a place where every woman has a choice and opportunity in her life, where we model what gender equity really means. Daughters of the Year are chosen from nominations submitted by the public, and we are grateful for the careful work of a panel of 4 women who made the difficult decisions for the 6 to honor. You will meet each of them soon.
Well, Katie, I get to brag about this. I get to introduce the very first Daughter of the Year. Her name, Evelyn Ngwe. Evelyn is a modest woman dedicated to helping and supporting others with selfless love. Evelyn's faith is central to her life. She is active with her church, coordinating outreach and supporting vulnerable groups such as seniors and homeless people. Evelyn became a social worker because of a commitment to a world where everyone can live healthy lives in healthy communities. She is a member of the Alberta Black Therapist Network. Evelyn was born in the village of Mfoya in Cameroon. She is working to raise funds to enable this drought and war-ravaged area to drill a water well so women and children are not having to walk many kilometers to scoop dirty water from surface depression to meet their needs. She has worked with the Days for Girls International to have hygienic kits shipped to women in the village. One of her nominators says, Evelyn has played an instrumental part helping me build my confidence as a woman. I will call her even late at night when I have personal challenges, and she's available to listen and provide guidance. I especially love the words of her teenage children supporting her nomination. It's always nice when your teenage supports you. They write, her compassion and determination to help others, other rivals alone, is none. Well, I will say that again so it sounds more effective. The children say, her compassion and determination to help others, rivals, none. She voluntarily gets out of her comfort zone to ensure that you are in yours. Evelyn has cemented the concept of inclusion and empathy in the minds and souls of everyone meeting her. These are the words of these teenagers. Congratulations, Evelyn. Evelyn is not able to be part of recording of this event, so her daughters, Kelly and Victory, will share a message on her behalf.
My name is Victory, and beside me is my older sister Kelly. We're here on behalf of our mom, Evelyn. I know it seems a bit funny us accepting a daughter's award for our mother, but she's in Cameroon with my grandpa at the moment.
So my mom has been working on diminishing peer poverty in Cameroon by creating menstrual kits for all girls, which in turn gives them more equivalent access to education. She's also in a non-profit called Boya H2O, which is a project focused in her home village to provide potable water for those there. In Canada, my mom has been helping women and children of BIPOC descent have long-term access to mental health support. And within her family, I've seen my mom working on adopting one of her cousins who was without a father. She's also patiently trying to understand her ever-changing daughter's us.
And she's being a phenomenal daughter. My mom has worked hard to bring my grandma to Canada and has continued to do everything in her power, not just to accommodate her, but to make her feel happy and comfortable these past 2 years. On behalf of my mother, thank you so much.
Nancy Hanneman's career in international education has focused on global citizenship and intercultural relations. She's spent 25 years at the University of Alberta as Director of Global Education and was founding director of the Center for Innovation and International Studies at Kawere State University in Nigeria. Nancy has been recognized by awards including the Queen's Global Jubilee Medal, the Salvos Pre Lorenzo's Peace Award, and the Friend of Africa Award. Nancy, thank you for your work as part of the jury that selected this year's Daughter of the Year. We welcome you to introduce our next recipient.
Sandra Azakar is well known for her effective work speaking out and taking bold action for social justice and human rights. As a leader in the labor movement, as an active part of Edmonton's Chilean community, and as a child protection worker. The focus of Sandra's life currently is as Executive Director of Friends of Medicare, where she is an effective voice advocating for protection and expansion of public health care. Sandra was active with the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees for many years and served as a vice president for 6 years, in addition to providing leadership with the union's Women's Committee. The committee created a primer to support women to be more involved in labor activities, and also created a manual for women dealing with domestic violence. Raising funds for the work of the Alberta Council of Women's Shelters was another of Sandra's priorities. An additional publication where she took the lead was a document so workers would know their rights. It was translated into several languages by people who took the Union Translator course, which Sandra also initiated. With her parents, Sandra helped found the Chilean-Canadian Cultural Society, and she has been active with it since. She is also a founder of the Memoria Viva Society. Her activities have included organizing the Chilean Pavilion at Heritage Days, as well as educational and cultural events and fundraisers.
I want to start out by thanking the Daughters Day Committee and the Canadians for Civil Society for this award. I'm extremely humbled to be among the many women who, through their work and from their own niche and their own space, serve to create change. We're all someone's daughter, all individual human beings, and in my case, I was fortunate to have parents and a family that have allowed me to lay my own footprints wherever I choose. My father taught me that we have a responsibility to not only speak up against oppression and inequality, but a duty to act to change those systems that oppress. My mother taught me that while trying to take the world on, one must remember what is essential, that the revolution starts at home. The same place that serves as a refuge from the darkness that life can sometimes bring. My children who taught me that they are those important things that my mother talked about, and my grandchildren who give me the strength and drive to keep on going. This award shines a light not only on celebrating each other, but also on the need to continue our quest to stop anything or anybody that limits women from being able to fully pursue their goals. Here's to all the strong women who make up our world. Thank you so much.
Gail Haynes is another of the 2021 jury. Gail is the Director of Housing Services and Peer Support at the Canadian Mental Health Association, Edmonton Region. She has served as the President of the Edmonton Coalition on Housing and Homelessness and is an active member of the Alberta Public Housing Administrators Association. In 2016, she was the recipient of a Roof Award from Homeward Trust for her work to ensure good housing for all. Gail will introduce our next Daughter of the Year.
Tibitha Campbell is an advocate for inclusion, particularly of Indigenous peoples, and a leader in lifelong learning, community building, and advocacy for human rights, social justice, and creating a more civil society. She is a senior manager of Northwest College's Indigenous Relations and Supports team, which includes an employment service designed to connect prospective Indigenous workers with employers recruiting for construction-related careers. Tibitha and her team have designed culturally safe spaces and an accepting environment at Northwest. She is a strong supporter of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action. Tibitha's contributions to the post-secondary education sector, where she encourages institutions to become truly anti-racist, decolonizing the institutions. She is a strong advocate for changes to the current child welfare system and educating about the root causes of poverty. One of Tibitha's most valued characteristics is that she always treats others with respect and creates an inclusive environment where everyone is welcome and can thrive. Tibitha is a strong community builder, serving on boards including End Poverty Edmonton, and is a PhD candidate at the University of Alberta. Tibitha Campbell identifies as a member of the Piapot Cree Nation in southern Saskatchewan and is a survivor of the 60s-70s scoop. She lives in Edmonton with her loving family and pets and is an avid runner.
Tanse, I'm honored to have been chosen as one of this year's Daughters of the Year. As the mother to a young Indigenous woman and as an Indigenous daughter myself, I understand the importance of a strong foundation for early achievement and later success. Perhaps at no other time in our history have we witnessed such a resurgence of strong Indigenous female leaders across all sectors who will, without question, strengthen the foundation for this and future generations of Indigenous women. I am proud and honored to be a part of setting this foundation, and thank you so much for this award. Kinanaskmatin.
Cecilia Blasetti has recently retired from a long and rewarding career in the not-for-profit sector, most recently as the executive director of the Boyle Macaulay Health Center. She is planning to continue being involved in a voluntary capacity in areas of healthcare and affordable housing, and has joined the board of directors of the New Canadians Health Center. But she's also looking forward to traveling, and in the meantime, she's learning how to play the ukulele. We are glad you had time to be a part of this year's jury, Cecilia.
Jonah Cabasal has been working with children for 23 years. She was the youngest teacher to be appointed by the Department of Education in the Philippines in 1998, and later finished her master's degree with a major in educational management. In more recent years, she has been working in daycares in Edmonton as a preschool teacher. Jonah Bell is passionate about young people and works creatively to give her learners a great experience, often developing additional learning aids in the evenings. She has an amazing range of teaching strategies and techniques. She believes learning is a lifelong process, so attends trainings in her field when she can. Jonah Bell is generous in purchasing school supplies and books to send to the Philippines, as well as sending money to support feeding programs there. She is also active with women's dance groups and enjoys learning from women of diverse cultures. She volunteers with the Filipino Serenes Association as a cultural dancer, language teacher, choreographer, and songwriter for the Mother Language Day celebration. She was a finalist in a pageant in the Philippines representing Canada. In addition, she writes for the Alberta Filipino Journal. Jonah Bell was born in the Philippines and came to Canada as a temporary worker, but in 2016 she received her permanent residency status. You are truly an inspiration to all of us, Jonah Bell, and I'm thrilled that you've been named one of the Daughters of the Year. Congratulations.
It's truly an honor to be one of the 2021 Daughters Day recipients. The opportunity to inspire others and also the chance to give back. Every chance I can, I love to pass on the love and gratitude I have in my heart and in my soul. Having grown up in an impoverished area in northern Philippines actually instilled the resilience and fortitude that made me the woman I am today. The road to success didn't come without the love and charity of others. At 7 years old, someone witnessed me selling flowers in an open market. I needed some school supplies that time. At 9 years old, a traveler saw me shucking corn late in the evening. He asked me lots of questions and I was so shy. A short time later, I was told that I was sponsored by the World Vision. The support carried over for almost 8 years. After earning my bachelor's of elementary education and master's in educational management, I was inspired to help the less fortunate, to aspire them to learn, and be grateful has never left my soul. Feeding programs, farmers' assistance, school supplies advocacy, language and cultural teaching in Edmonton, newspaper columnists, mentoring fellow educators has been ongoing passions besides my vocation as Campbell Academy Early Learning Center Director here in Edmonton, Alberta. I always try to motivate those persons who feel down in their lives with my own life experiences. Having come to Canada in 2008 was completely a new start for me again. From a mushroom picker to car washer to dishwasher, nanny, an early child care educator, to being assistant director and now a director, I always wish to inspire the starters to achieve all they can in life. Thank you so much.
Our next jury is got a sense of humor. You can tell from her films. In her filmmaking pursuit, Srila Chakrabarti is currently director of film programs at Play the Fool Film Festival, bringing the art of clowning and physical comedy to screen. Passionate about heritage history, she helps share the story of migrants from India. Punjabi Pioneers of Alberta has been released by Teller's Story Hive. Two of her movies, which I recommend you see, have been released on Amazon Prime Video. They are Lakeshore Drive and Rock, Paper, Dice, Enter. On YouTube, you can follow her work on the Riding with Cash channel, where she has been documenting life during the pandemic from the back of Cash motorcycle. How exciting is that? A Daughter of the Year recipient herself, Srila takes her role as a daughter of a freedom fighter extremely seriously.
Sophia is a tireless volunteer who has dedicated her life to building services for marginalized seniors and women. She has fought many uphill battles for representation and equity on numerous fronts. Sophia has been a resource for newcomers in Edmonton for over 35 years. Her work ranges from assisting people with immediate basic needs to founding and helping build organizations that provide systemic and holistic responses to larger issues. Some of those organizations include the Islamic Family and Social Services Association, the Pakistani Canada Association of Edmonton, the Children of Islamic Nations, and the Shama Center, a social services and cultural institution that supports marginalized people overcoming barriers. She has demonstrated leadership on community boards and organizations including Glenrose Consumers Advisory Council, Human Concern International, and the Mennonite Center for Newcomers. At the heart of Sophia's life is family. The spark of her service journey came from wanting to serve her own mother and others like her to deal with the complex challenges of building a life in Canada. Her son Khalid proudly admits, "The good in me stems from my mother." He says, a generation ago, she saw the Balkan War unfold and decided she wanted to help. She brought me along as she welcomed refugees. She didn't share a word in common with them, yet she learned to communicate, and soon those she helped found themselves at home. Thank you for your loving service, Sophia, and congratulations.
My name is Sophia Yakub. First, I want to say I'm deeply honored to be receiving this award. I'm grateful to the nominating committee for selecting me as one of the recipients. I accept this award on behalf of the Shama Center. We know women have faced daunting obstacles and discrimination throughout history. In our work, we often see that, among other things, lack of education leaves women powerless, vulnerable, and open to exploitations. Education is the key to eliminating gender inequality. Here we can all play a part in making a difference by advocating, mentoring, and providing support where we can. Seeing what is happening in Afghanistan, it's natural for our hearts to sink, but we need to resolve to support people when they are not in the news, when the attention isn't there. My own work began almost 25 years ago during the Balkan crisis, when I was driven by similar news events to connect with and support people. The work then was very simple, taking someone to a doctor, helping them navigate a new country for the first time, listening to their concerns, being compassionate, being caring, but most of all, being there for the long haul, little by little, helping them with what they needed. We are all capable of making a difference. Serving others gives purpose and meaning to our own life. It's truly an enriching experience. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank Canadians for Civil Society for all their efforts in promoting human rights for everyone, whatever their age, race, religion, gender. Thank you.
I now have the honor and privilege of introducing the final 2021 Daughter of the Year. Cheryl Whiskeyjack is a community leader recognized nationally and internationally for her work to end poverty. She works by developing and maintaining strong, inclusive partnerships. Cheryl is a believer in reconciliation and supports two-eyed seeing, viewing the world from both Indigenous and non-Indigenous lenses to co-create a better future. Cheryl is a founding member of C5, an innovative partnership between 5 Edmonton organizations working in collaboration to better serve families. And executive director of Bent Arrow Traditional Healing Society, Cheryl Whiskeyjack's job is to help urban Aboriginal peoples live in 2 worlds, the city of Edmonton with its laws and norms, and the Aboriginal world of ceremonies and beliefs that has existed on this land for millennia. We have a community of people thousands of years in this land, Cheryl says, and they feel displaced even though they live here. Cheryl oversees 18 services at Bent Arrow, connecting Indigenous people to the city around and helping them build skills and resilience. People sit straighter in their chairs by the time they're done in their programs, she says. Cheryl is a board member of the Canadian Accreditation Council of Human Services and has worked with End Poverty Edmonton, where she is a co-chair of the Stewardship Roundtable. She works with the National Advisory Council on Poverty and is a mentor for Edmonton Chamber of Voluntary Organizations Executive Director Mentorship Program. Cheryl was awarded a Doctor of Laws from the University of Alberta in 2021.
Very appreciative of this honor today. My gratitude also to the jury and my friend Jan Fox, another amazing leader in our community. I'm one of 4 girls born to my parents and raised by a single dad. The importance of strong women in my life was paramount to my dad when my mom passed away. This is where the role of aunties became a lifeline for me. Blessed with so many great women on both sides of my family, I benefited from their collective wisdom and continue to do so to this very day. And not just relatives filled this role. Strong women who made a commitment to a younger me, open to their teachings, knowledge, and wisdom. In a ripple of reciprocity, my other job is to pay this forward. I relish my role as auntie to all my littles, and as a surrogate mom, sister, auntie, and mentor to those who look for that same guidance and support that I once needed and sought. Chimigwech, and congratulations to this year's fellow honored daughters.
Wow, what an inspirational group of women. I'm sure you've heard it all from Katie and myself. These women are so inspirational, and I'm confident the future for all of us will be better thanks to the lives of these people in our community. And now, a time to enjoy some entertainment. I'm happy to introduce one of Alberta's most impressive musical treasure, Maria Dunn. Maria Dunn is a Juno-nominated storyteller through song who writes and sings about resilience and grace of ordinary people. Over her songwriting career, Maria Dunn has supported and celebrated social justice and human rights activism. She has worked to develop and perform oral, history-based video, ballets, sharing the stories of working people and climate justice through multimedia performances, including On the River, honoring Indigenous activist Chief Dorothy MacDonald Hyde. Packington, which is a tribute to North Edmonton's meat packing workers and community, and GWG, Piece by Piece. And this is inspired by immigrant women working in Edmonton's GWG Garment Factory. That's a must see. Maria volunteers countless hours performing for events addressing issues such as cutbacks to healthcare, peace, and on picket lines supporting workers' rights. And, oh, I tell you, Maria is also a Daughter of the Year recipient from 2020. Not surprising at all. Thank you so much, Maria, for the great music and your commitment to social justice.
Congratulations to Canadians for a Civil Society on your 10th annual Daughters' Day celebration. And congratulations to all my sister daughters honored this year for your important and inspiring contributions to our community. Malala Yousafzai is a very special daughter, courageous human rights advocate, and her book, I Am Malala, inspired me to write this song in 2013. I will dedicate it in particular at this time to all the daughters in Afghanistan and all the people there and around the globe who work so hard and so courageously for the human rights of women and girls. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there, Malala. Where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Born to a faithful family, her father saw it in her face. Bold and bright, engaged in life, meant to take a rightful place. Like her brother, she loves learning. Like him, she's stubborn too. When the Taliban forbids it secretly, she slips to school. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there, Malala. Where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Now a veil of fear descends dark upon the quiet land, twisting words of peace and love to violence and harsh commands. Some will not succumb in silence, some will not give up their rights. Against the shrinking walls around her, with her voice and pen she strikes. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there, Malala. Where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Riding home from class with friends, a young man boards her bus and shakes. Who is Malala? He demands, and shoots at point blank range. The hand of God, the hands of surgeons, fervent prayer round the world. So disarm this act of hate and fire the will of every girl. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there, my la la. Where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there, my la la. Where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Thank you.
Her Honor, the Honorable Salma Lakhani, became Alberta's Lieutenant Governor 1 year ago, but her long-standing service as a community leader and volunteer has been guided by her deep commitment to the values of pluralism and equity and her dedication to championing those who face barriers in life. Her honor was part of the first meetings that led to the creation of this Daughter's Day project, so it's very special to have her back as our speaker for this 10th anniversary. She's a proud Ismaili Muslim and attended the Aga Khan School in Kampala before pursuing studies at the University of Manchester. In 1972, Uganda's Asian minority population was expelled and she was stranded in England, a stateless person. With tuition assistance from the British government, she was able to complete her honors degree in clinical biochemistry, and in 1977, she married Zahir Lakhani. That year, the University of Alberta accepted Zahir's application to continue postgraduate study, and the Lakhanis began a new chapter here in Canada. She began looking for opportunities and ways to give back and to help those in need, and became one of the first mentors in Northwest College's Youth in Transition program. And she was the founding member of the College 1000 Women, a Million Possibilities movement. Her Honor has shared her skills, energy, and passion for service for the Lois Hole Hospital for Women, Kids Cottage, the Alberta Cancer Board, and the Aga Khan Foundation Canada, and was a board member of the John Humphrey Centre for Peace and Human Rights. Lieutenant Governor Lakhani has received the Alberta Centennial and Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal in recognition of services to community and civil society. Northwest College awarded her an honorary diploma in community services leadership in 2019. Their honors make their home in Edmonton, and their family includes their 2 daughters and a son-in-law.
Hello everyone, and a very happy Daughter's Day to you all. I have always been very appreciative of the important ideal behind this celebration. In fact, I was honored to be a part of the initial brainstorming committee that came together to create the inaugural Daughter's Day 10 years ago. It has certainly been a great pleasure to see this meaningful concept and our society's progression towards greater gender equality in general grow and flourish over the past decade. My commitment to this day and to ensuring opportunities and supports for women has been shaped by my own experiences as both a daughter and as a mother to 2 beautiful daughters. Growing up in Uganda, I was the only daughter in my family. My brothers and I enjoyed a very happy childhood, which was shaped by the strong example offered by our parents. My mother in particular provided me with a remarkable model of resilience. She lost her own mother, my maternal grandmother, when she was just 2.5 years old. She found ways to thrive despite the considerable hardship that came with experiencing such a profound loss at a very young age. She became quite well educated for the time, and both my parents made education a key priority for me and my brothers. My mother always encouraged me to study hard, work hard, and to envisage a bright and hopeful future without limits. And that, of course, is also the central idea that sits at the heart of this annual Daughter's Day celebration. As encouraging as my mother was, I am not sure that even she could have imagined the barriers I would eventually break through as Canada's first Muslim South Asian, and African-born viceregal representative. In fact, there was a time when nothing in our lives seemed certain. As you may know, our peaceful family life was shattered in 1972 when all people of South Asian descent were expelled from Uganda. We were forced to leave behind all of our material possessions, and we were stripped of our citizenship. This was all partway through my university education, which I had been pursuing in England along with my now husband, Zahir. We were able to continue our studies as stateless students, and most of our family members ended up in England as well. While our families stayed and began rebuilding their lives in the UK, Zahir and I followed a different path. After we got our degrees, Zahir's postgraduate medical studies brought us here to Canada and Alberta, places that as children we only knew as faraway points on the map. What we thought would be a temporary stay while Zahir completed his cardiology training blossomed into the realization that we had found our home. We were fortunate to find a vibrant and welcoming community that has given us ample opportunities to flourish and to give back. As much as we love the life that we have built in Canada, I was the only one in my family who had moved so far away, and I missed my family terribly. It was particularly hard for my mother to not have her only daughter nearby. I made an effort to visit at least twice a year, and after my father died, I traveled from Edmonton to England more frequently to be with my mother. Since her passing, I miss my mother dearly, and I am so grateful for all the wonderful times we spent together. But I take comfort in the fact that I'm still a daughter-in-law to Zahir's 92-year-old mother who lives here in Edmonton. I cherish being able to care for her in any way that I can, and I consider it a privilege and a blessing. And now, I am experiencing what it is like to be away from my own daughters, with one living in Ontario and one in Calgary. These both seemed like very manageable distances to travel until the past year, when the pandemic largely limited us to virtual visits and telephone calls. I'm sure that everyone taking part in this celebration shares my newly deepened appreciation for the great pleasure of being able to gather as a family in person and to simply spend time together. Whenever we talk, I try to remind my two girls that they deserve the same things that my mother wished for me, to live a vibrant and rewarding life without limits. It is one of my greatest rewards to see them achieve a little more of that vision every day, and I relish each opportunity that I am given to encourage them, to coach them when I am able, and to cheer them along in their journeys. To all of the mothers and fathers taking part in this event, I wish you all the same joy with your daughters, your granddaughters, and your great-granddaughters if you are so blessed. To the daughters among us, I encourage you all to spend as much time as possible with your parents. You only have one mom and one dad, and every moment that you spend together is so very precious. Finally, as Her Majesty the Queen's representative in Alberta, I would like to thank the organizers of this event and to recognize everyone who works to foster greater equality, opportunity, and success for women and girls in our communities. I offer my sincere thanks to each of you for giving of your tireless energy, dedication, and strength to this very important cause. Thank you all. Please stay well, and happy Daughters' Day once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your important message. It's so inspiring. Just sharing your example of your life and your resiliency. It's so heartfelt. It is a privilege to hear from someone who has been a model of working for a just and equitable Alberta for each person. Congratulations again to each of the 2021 Daughters of the Year. Our community is better for the courageous and committed lives each of you are living. And I'm sure, Kate, you will agree. How inspiring is that?
So inspiring.
Yeah,
what
it's
a
like,
wonderful
wow.
event.
Yeah, we are so inspired. This has been a strange way to celebrate Daughters' Day in this world of COVID-19. But thank you for joining us. And thank you to the people and organizations making contributions to help with the cost of this program. We couldn't have done it without you. We look forward to being together in person at Edmonton City Hall in 2022. Please share the YouTube link for this program with others, and please stay in touch with us through our Facebook page. I want to introduce Vishant Chotai, the president of Canadians for the Civil Society, the host organization of Daughters' Day, to offer some closing comments.
Thank you. First, we acknowledge that we are celebrating the Daughters' Day on Treaty 6 territory. On behalf of Canadians for a Civil Society, congratulations to all the Daughters of the Year for your accomplishment. You are the future leaders of our community. Daughters' Day is the flagship initiative of the Canadians for a Civil Society. We are a non-profit organization consisting of volunteers. We promote Canadian values and civil society that includes human rights and rule of law, respect for all regardless of gender, faith, or origin, literacy for every child and adult, meaningful economic opportunity for all citizens, and protection of our environment for our children and grandchildren. We network with other organizations to inform government policies and business practices on discrimination and equity. We hold symposiums and conferences to share fact-based information with the public on human rights. I believe that poverty is a violation of the basic human right. That denial of freedom of speech is a violation of a person's birthright. That systemic discrimination is a violation of fundamental justice. That fighting gender discrimination is a responsibility of all genders, including men. Nobody can be a bystander. Regardless of your gender, faith, or origin, if you want to advance a life free of fear, a life free from want, a society of human rights and equality, a culture of peace and human dignity, please join us. Together, we can achieve that. Thank you.
As we finish our event today, on behalf of Harriet and myself, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here today. Please be thinking about the women in your life whom you can nominate for the 2022 Daughters of the Year honors. Paula Kerman wrote a song for the first Daughters Day event in 2012, and it has become a very special part of the event each year, and so we will close our 10th anniversary event by enjoying that song now. Paula is an Edmonton singer-songwriter whose music is an extension of her life's work as a journalist, filmmaker, and community organizer. Her songs often deal with social issues, and her song Summer, about an unhoused woman was a finalist in several international songwriting contests. Paula is a Daughter of the Year and a recipient of the Human Rights Champion Award from John Humphrey Center for Peace and Human Rights, and an award merit for advocacy of social justice from the Edmonton Social Planning Council.
In 2011, I was invited to join the steering committee for a new event called Daughters Day. The purpose, as it was explained to me, was to celebrate the achievements of women and girls while working towards a more equitable society. During my time on that steering committee, as we worked towards the first Daughters Day that happened in 2012, I was asked to write a song, and it's been my pleasure to perform that song at every Daughters Day event since then, and I'm very pleased to be here to perform the song for the 10th time. And I would like to wish all of the Daughters of the Year a congratulations and a happy Daughters Day.
Stories of survival, emerging from the darkness of fear, begin with our arrival. A lifetime on a road led by tears, and there's lots of joy and lots of pain, sunshine and wind and rain, blood flowing through our veins with the strength and the wisdom of years. Obstacles surmounting, overcoming them one by one. Towards freedom we are counting, and changes have already begun. When we're writing our own history, breaking through the mystery, standing up for all to see the battles that we've won. So here we stand before you, daughters of all ages today, proclaiming something so true. We're ready and willing to say, stand for love, not for hate. Our rights are not for debate. Join with us, it's not too late, but we will not go away. And there's so much we can celebrate here